And the wait is over. It's over. We've been advertising it for the last, I think, month, maybe 6 weeks, huh, Jake?
Something
But
like
it's
that. Something
yeah.
like that.
Well, it's finally here. This is the pilot episode of The Sniper and the Pundit presents Top Rope Talk. So, quick history lesson. This actually kind of started as an Ask Jake Anything from Pundit Views. We did like 4 segments of it, and then, Jake was like, "Hey, why don't we just do a show out of it?" And so I was like, "Hey, why not?" Well,
Why not? Exactly.
yeah.
And I love when my lights make my hair look extra gray.
Oh yeah. Now I can really call you Vince McMahon.
Hey.
Well,
No. I got a better back.
hey, there you go. To those of y'all who are watching from YouTube, shout out to JB Ellis, John Shear, Jake Malik, the heads at the Sideline Sports Network, for allowing a brand new show from our creative juices to debut on the network. So again, shout out to them. Shout out to my Gauntlet crew. Shout out to Unconventional Kings, Craig Davis, Marshall Hill. Y'all know who y'all are. And catch us on. And shout out to the Wrestling Discussions group that I've run for the last 7 years. We have great, awesome content discussions, live threads. Find us on Facebook. We're Wrestling Discussions. Speaking of which, he's my kind of my second command in the same group. He's got a mean Jake. Wait till you see him come in. He's got a mean wrestling action figure collection all across his wall.
I'd say so. Yes.
That's what's behind him. He's the wrestling professor himself, Mr. Billy Cruz. Come on in.
What is going on?
I appreciate you guys. Welcome into the show, man. I have no words for this. I'm just speechless to just be on this show. Thank you guys. Yes, I do have an awesome collection. These are the regular ones, and then over here are my legends, and then I've got a legend of shells, just loose figures and whatnot. But
yeah, but
again,
yours is like my collection as a kid. Only I brought mine into the bathtub and I lost all the paint.
Oh boy, yeah, his never leaves the package.
Exactly.
But to those of y'all who are catching us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, DBTV, and Stream TV, welcome. Well, it's not quite on Stream TV yet, but it will be. Also, those of y'all who are catching us on YouTube and Facebook, also LinkedIn, you can also type comments in and engage with us. Of course, we bring the comments on the screen. We love a little fan engagement, so why not? And so I said that this was going to be and by the way, hit the like and subscribe button, the notification bell on YouTube, because it's not just this show. It's a lot of great content for Sideline Sports. The Gauntlet, Pundit, some old episodes of Pundit Views. We've also got Brushing Them Back with Kobe White. Also, the Sideline Sports Show. You name it, we got it. Basketballs, we got it. We're on it every single week. So please hit the subscribe button. And without further ado, the opening episode is, of course, our WWE Summerslam 2023 recap.
Oh, I love it.
What an event it was. We are going to go, of course, match by match, breakdown and everything. And so why not kick it off? So, opening match on the card, and what a banger it was, indeed. So, it started with the 2023 Royal Rumble match when these two collided. And you know what? They were just like, hey, at some point, we got to meet up in the ring. It took about 8 months, but it finally happened. Logan Paul defeated Ricochet in the opening match of SummerSlam 2023. So, my question for the panel is, and we'll go around the board here really quick. Has Logan Paul arrived in WWE? Billy, what do you think, man?
See, I'm not much of a Logan Paul fan in the wrestling field. If you catch that, he showed out in many of his moves with Ricochet. That neck slinger was crazy.
Yes, it was.
His knees up, beautiful by Logan. Sorry, I'm just looking at my notes. You know what I mean? Gotta notate. I had to notate and look at stuff, but he showed me a little something something. Just
Okay.
like if you would bring up like Bad Bunnies or anybody else or any not necessarily celebrities, but he's magnificent the way he lands on the mat, his moves. He shows out a little too much. I think, in my own personal opinion, he oversells a little bit
Hmm.
just to get the crowd behind him, or not behind him, but necessarily like, oh my god, that was whoa, and it was like kick out after kick out type thing. You know what I mean? So, what are
Just kind of
your
keep
thoughts? What are your thoughts, Mr. Jacob?
Well, one of my biggest things was I can say this: the knees up to the roll up. I hate that it doesn't end it.
Right?
Hate it because that knocks the absolute starch out of you. It will take more than 3 seconds to get out of it. That shouldn't be used often, and it shouldn't be, and it should be a finish. That should be one of those. That should be a finish that takes out Roman Reigns.
yes.
That should be
Okay.
that should take him out. It's like, oh my god, I just screwed up. First time in my, that's a finish that should have Cody Rhodes beat. After 4 years of being not being pinned on the singles.
Yeah.
It should be that type, not a finish, that kind of thing. I hate that it's not a finish, but has he arrived? Yes, he has, and I'll tell you why. One of the biggest things about Logan Paul was he was all moves, and he's flashy. He's all moves, and he's all and what's a good word to say this? He's all moves, all flash, and he's all promotion. He
Right.
promotes Prime, which I'm trying to catch their attention. I love Prime, so I'm trying to catch their attention all the time. They're awesome. He's all promotion. You want to know what he does last night to be a heel? A regular wrestling match.
Yep.
A regular wrestling match, and he blocks everything Ricochet wants to do until about the 11-minute, 12-minute mark.
Hmm.
Then it finally, that move outside of the ring. Finally. Then it went. But to be a heel, he does a regular wrestling match. You know what that reminds me of? Mick Foley in ECW.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, that's Mick Foley in ECW when he's facing Whipwreck. And he decides,
Okay.
I don't care about any of you, so I'm just going to keep giving you boring stuff.
Yeah.
And that was
Okay.
but Logan Paul. I'm not going to say he's the world's greatest wrestler, but he is a promotion. And I loved the Hulk his own version of the Hulk Hogan split the leg drop.
Yeah.
That
called
He
it
can
the
promote
cool.
stuff, yeah, and he can do that.
Yeah, I want to go up to Hulk and says, "Why don't you do that?"
I know, right? Hulk could never. The splits, never.
No, Hulk would laugh at you and say, "I wasn't that pliable, brother."
Yeah, pretty much. But well, that was an electrifying first match indeed, which he called that move the Hogan Paul, by the way. But
Yep,
on
the
to
Hogan
our
Paul.
next.
I caught that.
Yeah,
Like
and
the
then
Hogan.
Hogan
and then
Paul.
it
Wait,
flex
hold on.
also.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was great. Definitely very creative,
No. It's and the thing about it is, the biggest thing about it is I think if he would have just done all the moves last night, I would have said he didn't arrive. I think he's the attraction, but he made it because he became a heel.
Yes.
He became a heel with a regular wrestling match.
Yes, he absolutely did, Well, moving on to our next match on the card, and that is our rubber match. I think they dropped the ball and this should have been an I Quit match, or at least a last man standing. But it was a good match nonetheless. And you think back to last year when Cody Rhodes had those 3 classics against Rollins, and it's very hard nowadays to put together a string of 3 consecutive matches with the same guy and they all be just as exciting. But the most surprising part at the end of this very match was Brock Lesnar shaking Cody Rhodes' hand and pretty much acknowledging him after the match and the show of respect. Billy Cruz, did you expect this from Lesnar? Also, your thoughts about the match?
Oh my god! Like literally, I was stunned. I was shocked. I was like, I believe this is the first time I've ever seen Brock Lesnar actually not get mad or irate about a match the way it can't go his way, and just shook his hand and gave Cody respect. The match was definitely a hard rubber knot, like slobber knocker, as JR would say, slobber knocker match. I was definitely shocked. I was like, wow, okay. But other than that, I think that's good kudos to Brock. Just kind of showing him like, hey, you got it, kid. Like, hey, you go ahead and do your thing. I'm going to go ahead and go into the dust type thing. You know what I mean? You go do your thing. Go after Roman. Go after whoever. Go after Seth. The match was very hard hitting. That F5 on the floor, and he just kept telling him to stay down, stay down, stay down. And he just kept getting back up. And Cody did not want to give up. And it was just an overall hitting match. Like, I was just stunned because I was like, I even told Dad, I was like, yo, are you seeing this right now? Are you seeing this right now? Is everybody seeing this right now? Brock is actually acknowledging somebody and giving them the hands up.
Hey, you know, I'm gonna allude to something, and we both know what I'm talking about here. Right when that happened, I think Brock officially crossed over into immortality. To me, that moment was WrestleMania 6. That was Hogan handing Warrior the
Hogan
title
and Warrior, my favorite one of all time. My favorite match of all time.
You know, and because Brock Lesnar, you know, he's a 10-time world champion. He's gotten to the point where he doesn't need the belt anymore. You know, he now is the gatekeeper. If you want to be a world title contender, you got to beat Brock Lesnar. Because let's face it, Brock Lesnar is still a big draw. But I want to swing it over to Jacob Christner and get your thoughts about this match.
Well, first off,
yes, sir.
Huh?
He said, yes, sir. Go ahead.
Hey, no, here's the thing. If we think about this, Lesnar had been planning this. Lesnar had to have been planning all of this just in this way. I'll explain. In his own head, because creative sure as heck can't think anything like this. First off, think about this. How many times did he annihilate Cody?
Oh, boy.
Annihilate him. Cody takes the first one. He's mad. Second one, he absolutely beats the tar out of him and pins him.
He throws him over his shoulder like a sack of laundry.
Yeah.
And how many suplexes did he give him? Like 8 or 9?
And Cody gives him. And then Cody keeps coming back and keeps coming back. Then Cody finally, on the final Raw, gets him. And finally, and then it's like, remember, he's shocked and a little smile and then goes. Then you have the match. And mind you, I love how he did this match because I get the feeling that Lesnar's going out soon. Because you got to remember, the last few years, every single time he has anything over a 10-minute match, he turns purple.
Yeah.
He turns purple. You notice this time around, this was more than a thing. This was a perfect combination of Cody, of Cody having to get back in the ring, keep fighting back, stay down, keep fighting back, and Lesnar resting. Lesnar had to rest. And it's like he turns purple after about a 10-minute mark every time. This time he didn't because he got to take a breath for 9 seconds of time.
Right.
And which he never had done all those things. So it was a different. And I think it's saying, and the way he's doing it, I think it's saying he's within a year, if not or sooner, he's gone. And the thing is, Brock Lesnar, greatest muscle man worker ever. Ever.
That's fair.
Yeah, ever.
Okay.
I mean,
wait. Over Batista?
Yes, because he could sell better Batista.
Okay.
See, but the thing I like here's the thing. You remember what we talked about in one of those things about that, to me, a matchup needs to equal out as far, like if you face Chris Benoit, you better equal his intensity. He doesn't need to sell. Same with Kurt Angle. You know what I'm saying?
Why you think him and Eddie Guerrero
Yeah. It's like that's how I said that. that was the thing with Brock that I love. He'd sell for you, but you better give it to him.
Yes.
You better give him a reason. Like he was annihilating Finn Balor for about 9-10 minutes, and then he runs his gut into the edge of the table.
Yeah.
And then there was a reason. And then he sold that thing the whole match. And it's like there was a reason. He didn't sell for no reason to a little guy. And then he still just and that's the thing. Brock Lesnar is the more athletic this era version of Andre the Giant. He was the final boss of every video game.
Very true.
That you have to keep kicking down and hitting down and hitting down, and he goes down about a quarter to an eighth of a thing while you go down half.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. And see, Andre was like that, only in a slower version.
Yeah.
So Brock, he's had a good 10 years if you combine everything. Plus, he's been in UFC. Plus, he played a couple NFL football games in preseason.
Right.
Right.
You want to know what he does right now? He owns a bunch of farmland in Minnesota and Canada. Go make
And
that
he's
money.
also a butcher, isn't he?
He's got a gym too. He's got a gym or two. Yep.
Here's the thing.
With Brock Lesnar, it's fair to say that pretty much any match he ever lost in his career, save for Goldberg, the opponent had to outsmart him. Just like you said, he was annihilating him, and then there was that one lucky shot. Brock swings and misses, hits the ring post. Okay, there's your opening, right? You know?
And that's the thing. That's the thing. He knows. No, I think. Oh yeah, no question. He's better than Batista. It's like you got to remember Jim Cornette trained Batista. Batista was kind of a baby. Brock is a natural at this. But you know what he is? He's a businessman, and he's got farmland for the milk cows, and he's got a butcher, and he's got gyms, and he's got everything. Go make your millions.
Yeah. Why not? Well,
and as far as Cody goes, he's gonna. You know what they're going to use for this before we go to the next one? You ought to know what they're going to do next for this. This next one, it's going to be. I mean, it's not going to be Cody. They'll have a couple other matches before, but it's going to change Cody into that one. He's going to understand. The whole story is going to be that he understands what it takes to beat a guy like Roman.
Like Roman, yep, exactly. So let's see. We go on to our next one, and a bit of a recent favorite for you, Billy. But where'd it go?
What was that?
I said this next one a bit of a favorite for you as of late. LA Knight wins the 25-man SummerSlam Battle Royal. Now for the $1 million question: does Knight deserve a push to the upper card? Billy, give it to me. What's going on?
Oh my God! You don't let me. Oh man. See, LA Knight, he's a very great man. I've chilled with him. I've been backstage with him quite a few times. He's awfully a nice man. Like, he's literally, legitimately a businessman. He's not what he says he is on camera, but he is. He's just trying to make it to the top. Everybody says he's a knockoff of Stone Cold. Everybody says he's a knockoff of The Rock and everybody else. And yeah, let me talk to you. That's the new catchphrase today. You remember that? What? Yeah, the Stone Cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, exactly. So he doesn't need to be top card priority right now. Let him at least get the people to jump on his gravy train, as so he says. Okay. He doesn't need, because he's already got it all. He's done it in TNA, Impact Wrestling or whatnot. You know what I mean? Ring of Honor, even. Yep. He's done it a lot on this indie scene, because I'm all over the place in the indie scene here in North Carolina. I've seen him plenty of times here, and he's phenomenal to me. Like, he's one of my favorites. He's a personal friend of mine. A lot of people don't know that, but you know, he shouldn't be top, because if he's top right now, then I guess, in my opinion, he would be forgotten about and pushed back off. because then everybody
Yeah.
would else be jumping on everybody else.
Well, and you remember last year when we talked about so much about how Austin Theory was getting shoved down everyone's throats. I think they're
Right.
being careful with this one, and they're like, we don't want to rush LA Knight the way that Theory got rushed, and we made some mistakes along the way. But I will say this
And
much about LA Knight: out of anybody, if you're gonna say he's rockish, he's the first one that didn't get laughed at. But with that being said, I'm gonna swing it over to Jake. Jake, your thoughts?
What did you have to say, Cruz? You have anything to say, Cruz?
no, you're good.
Okay,
You go ahead and take it off. I've done
the
said
thing.
everything about LA Knight, and he's a good person, so take it from here, buddy.
Well, here's the thing. He's 40 years old. I'll tell you when the LA Knight's going to get his push when Vince is gone. Let me explain this. And before I go to explain it, let me say this part.
Now, before you continue, Lashley is 46. Go ahead.
Well aware. He's also been around forever.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about the initial. And Lashley is a damn unicorn. he looks 26. But here's the thing. Number one, before we go into LA Knight, they missed a monstrous opportunity. Number one, Chad Gable just picked up Bronson Reed halfway up before it was blocked.
Yeah.
They missed an opportunity for Chad Gable to take almost out himself.
Yeah, I saw all that.
Because Chad Gable can.
Mm-hmm.
Chad Gable's very, very, very strong. I'm not saying that he would win, but he is a very strong dude.
For that little guy of his atmosphere, he is very strong.
Oh, if he would throw Omos over, the fans would be saying, "Get him a title shot tomorrow."
Right.
Exactly.
Absolutely. But I'm just saying they missed the opportunity because he lifted Bronson Reed awful easily halfway up before they blocked it.
Yeah.
He is strong. But the biggest thing about LA Knight, he's going to get his push when Vince is gone, with the full push, and that's not going to be long.
This is true.
That's true.
Yes,
but
I believe so.
True, but he's going to get it totally when Vince is gone. Here's the thing with Vince. The thing about Vince is, unlike Triple H doesn't have to own the world. Remember, Triple H is the type that once Vince is gone, he's probably going to want to work with AEW and all those type of things, get the players go back and forth. He's the type on that. Vince is someone who wants to rule the world. He wants to own everything. You want to know what still galls him to this day is Hulk Hogan owns everything.
Right.
He owns everything of Hulk Hogan. He owns everything that he was the one that bought all of the all those trademarks, and he makes a pile of money off of it.
Yeah, he wishes that he trademarked Hulk Hogan back then, like he does everybody else, because he'd be getting paid. If he had thought then what he thought right now to do, he would be Terry Gene Bollea in WCW.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they'd be known as Bollea Maniacs.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and that word would be Terry Bollea. Yeah, and it's like CM Punk also did. He owns everything. It's like Rock and Stone Cold pretty much do. He doesn't own some of the four the biggest names we can get right now in wrestling. I mean, even though Hulk's biggest, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, you get that they own everything. They make money off their stuff. They do all that stuff. And this would gall Vince, he's lost hundreds of millions off this, and the four combined. LA Knight could go to Hollywood tomorrow. He's a star. He wants that under the thumb until he would know he's got something. Then he'll get the push. Once Vince is gone, Knight's going for a big time tomorrow.
Yep.
It's another thing with Vince too. LA Knight is 40 years old, and Vince has pushed Daniel Bryan. He's pushed Rey Mysterio. He's pushed Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero dies. Chris Benoit goes crazy and kills his family. And stuff like that. Bryan Danielson has neck problems about a month and a half later. And then he also pushed Finn Balor and got injured the next day.
Yeah. And
he did these things. He's skittish of this. Why do you think we got a 3-year Roman Reigns? Mm-hmm. He is going to be. LA Knight is not that big. he's going to be skittish and going all the way on this, just because he doesn't own him. He doesn't own those biggest names. He wants to own everything. And LA Knight LA Knight can get injured, and LA Knight's not big like Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he's still good size at 242 pounds.
Yeah,
but you're right.
but
He's no 260.
Not to say, but Bobby Lashley's a unit.
Yep, and a lot of those larger than life guys, Cena, Hogan that we talked about,
Yeah.
Well,
you brought up Hogan. You bring up Hogan. Hogan, 10 straight years outside about 3 and 4 months doing movies. 10 straight years on the road. I mean, realize this. It's like in these guys that we talked about that he pushed and everything, kept getting injured, kept having to go, and kept this and all that stuff. And then now there's little things like that, and it's a brutal schedule.
It is.
Oh, it's very brutal. Very brutal.
Yeah. So there's a love-hate with Vince with Hulk. And the fact that he hates it, but he loves it because Hulk would wish he could go back on that road schedule again.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well,
so would Cena.
Yeah, so would Cena. Well, our next match on the card, and that is our MMA rules match. About the closest to a Lioness Den match you can get. It was in a regular ring. It should have been in an octagon. Shayna Baszler defeated Ronda Rousey by submission. So, is it finally time to put Shayna Baszler in the title picture? Really, what do you think?
I think it is. She's over. I feel like, in my own opinion, she's felt way overdue for a main event title. You know what I mean? For that women's title. Like, literally, she is. I don't want to cuss on the show, but she's badass.
She is.
So she's totally like bad, like, and Ronda just needs to just go ahead and retire and just give it up because, for one, Ronda doesn't have no mic skills, and I'm just getting tired of her. I like Ronda at first, but yeah, she's getting like stale type to me. I just can't follow Ronda like that. I don't follow Ronda like that. Shayna, though, on the other hand, she needs to work on her mic skills. She definitely does. Maybe she should come into cohorts like old school Paulie Dangerous.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? And have a mic piece for her, and so she can be total bad person. You know what I mean? Bad girl, like.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, I think she needs the belt. The match was totally. It was not needed. Like MMA rules, like you just should have had a regular wrestling match, like literally, and just get it over with and get this feud done and put her to the side and call it a day and let's go to the next woman, or who's Shayna going to go after now type thing, you know what I mean? Or bring somebody big in for the women's, but Charlotte, I don't know. To me, Shayna is it was kind of bland, but there was boring chants at that in the crowd.
It was.
And I don't know if you caught that, but there was it wasn't that loud, but everybody was like boring, and I was like, okay. And then Ronda taps at the end, and I'm like, all right, is this gonna be the end of Shayna and Ronda? Are they gonna feud it out? You know what I'm saying?
You're probably gonna see 2 more matches of that caliber. Or at least
I just wanted to see a pit. It should have just ended up being a pit match, like everybody was saying. Like, it should have just been a pit match or a Lions Den match or something. If you wanted to go in MMA, like, because you're in the squared circle. This is not really MMA.
Yeah. Yeah. It absolutely should have been. Just like, and the crazy part is they missed the opportunity of this because it would have been 25 years to the day of the first Lions Den match at SummerSlam between Shamrock and Owen Hart. You know?
Mm-hmm.
My thing about it is they're basically making her, Baszler, the female Shamrock. How many women does she have to win the tag titles with and then backstab before you give her a single title? You know what I mean? But or a
Exactly.
shot at the single title. But I want to swing it over to Jacob and get your thoughts about this match and how you felt about it.
WWE doesn't know what to do with a Lions Den match. They did spots. Owen and Shamrock were doing dang spots to throw him against each other's fence while he's doing the high kick. Give me a break. There was nothing. I mean, they didn't know how to do it either. A Lions Den match does not need spots. It's its own brutality. But the point about this match is like, this is the thing about these MMA fights. First off, you're not making Shayna Baszler a heel at all doing this. You're making her a babyface. This is supposed to be a heel thing. You weren't making her a heel doing it. You got to have Ronda win this kind of match, go into another match and destroy Ronda. Cheating, ugly, brutal, get her carried out, any of that kind of stuff. Then a third one could be at WrestleMania when she's carried off later, whatever.
Before you continue, I think the intent of WWE, especially Vince McMahon, and not saying he has his hand in the pot right now or anything, it's been Triple H's show, but I think the intent was for Ronda Rousey to be face and Baszler to be a heel. It's just that the crowd just boos Ronda.
Understood, but if you were going to continue with that match, Ronda's got to win. Then you got to destroy her and do all that. You just beat Ronda in her own game. Why would Ronda go back and beat you in yours? It's like, so what is Ronda stronger at? This is what creative does not understand, little things like that. But here's the thing about MMA. This is the thing about MMA matches. I was going to say this on my TikTok, by the way, TikTok, the Jake the Pundit one. This is what I was going to say about there, and I never got to it. You can't have MMA matches because you have three big problems. You have wrestling fans don't watch MMA normally. MMA fans don't watch wrestling normally. So they're both going to be bored. And then there is a specific set of fans that think that these guys and girls in the ring that are not fighters can fight. And that's how you fight. See, what Shayna and Ronda did yesterday is how a fight happens.
Right.
That is what a fight is. It's basically a Dan Severn match. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Tyler. But that's what a match is. And see, they were sitting there bored because they don't watch MMA. That's what a match is. That's what a fight is. So, see, they have this because they see all these spots, they think that's a fight. So there's the problem you have. But I hated the match. But if you were going to do that, if you're going to keep, you don't need to keep Ronda. Ronda needs to be a vicious heel anyway. She stinks as a babyface. But if you're going to have Ronda as a babyface, she's got to win her match.
Yes, she does.
She needs to win her match, and then Shayna's got to cheat and be nasty and carry her off in the next match. And it's like her domain is a cheating heel. Except now you just basically made Shayna, whether you meant to or not, a babyface.
But the only thing I'll say against that is the crowd did it. The crowd did it. They've been booing Ronda. Yeah, they've been like, I'm tired of her. Even Billy just said it. I'm sick of Ronda.
She needs to be a vicious heel anyway. And I liked when she came down. I see. For one thing, I feel bad for Joan Jett because she's making a pile of money on that.
Oh yeah,
she's making a pile of money off of. I love that song, by the way. It's catchy.
I do too.
It's like it's catchy, and it got one of the biggest pops I saw in one of the Royal Rumbles. You know, you could just tell that would get a huge pop.
It would.
But yeah, I hated the match. But just like a couple of different reasons. Because I don't like an MMA match in a world that doesn't understand. Like I said, the majority of wrestling fans aren't watching MMA. They are not. And then the fact is, if you're gonna be stupid enough to keep Ronda babyface, you gotta have her win her match. Now it's like, okay, so here's the thing. If Shayna comes back on Raw tonight and she's still a heel, what was the point? This was dumb. And yeah, she's going to go into the title thing. Now she's got to pay Io Sky.
Yeah. Well, we do have to kind of move it. We got about 25 minutes left for the rest of the call.
25 minutes, and I'm so glad that you said that because I felt like I was the only one that hated that match.
Hey, no problem at all. So Next match on the card, something a little bit more exciting. This is the Intercontinental Championship in which Gunther retained the title against returning Drew McIntyre, in which we hadn't seen Drew since WrestleMania. Now, I could have swore he actually was going to win the title because Drew was out. It was questionable if he was going to re-sign to WWE. The AEW talk started kicking up and everything, and then Drew resigns. Okay, he immediately gets the IC title match at SummerSlam. So I'm like, all right, then, okay, like he's going to dethrone Gunther. And then Gunther retains. So I'm going to start off with Billy. What do you think about this one? Now, Gunther has always been that guy in the ring. I think he actually solidified himself by being the runner-up in the Royal Rumble. But do you think that Gunther retaining the title was the right call?
I do, actually. In my opinion. First off, that match was hard banging, especially how he slammed him on the steel steps. I was just like, oh my God, is Drew gonna get out of this? And then it was kick out after kick out. The whole match ended up for like 13 minutes and 36 seconds, 43 milliseconds. Yes, I clocked it. He is pertained to seem destined to beat Honky Tonk Man's record from what everybody's saying, and he's gonna be the longest ever reigning Intercontinental Champion, just like Roman Reigns was and is or whatnot. You know what I mean? Going on the Hogan topic again with that and stuff like that with the champions, but I think it was the right call. It was a very hard hitting match, chop after chop. Gunther's side was like, or no, McIntyre's side, I believe, was like all red and whiplashed, and the frog splash after power bomb Gunther was landing. Like, Gunther is just a massive bomb. He's totally a monster. He needs to just keep being a champ. So I think it was the right call for him to retain. Like, literally, do not give it to Drew just because Drew came back. Drew has done his thing. I've met Drew plenty of times. He's been in the business for almost 20 years. He's done his thing. 2-time world WWE, whatever champion you want to call it. Intercontinental champion, the chosen one, and all the above, and tag team titles. But no, he shouldn't have had the belt. It stays on Gunther.
Okay, not bad at all. And Jake, what do you think? Should Gunther have lost the title, or
Absolutely not. For one thing, Honky Tonk Man, stupid that title reign number thing anymore.
I have one thing though. Hey, I'm a big Honky Tonk Man fan, but you go ahead.
Gunther is going to be the great. Gunther's already, to me, the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. Already. And the thing is, the biggest thing is he's a tremendous heel. But here's the thing with it: it's like this is the WWE thing again. I'm sorry. If you wanted to turn some of that big weight into muscle, do it. He didn't need to get that thin.
That's true. He should have kept his weight from NXT.
Yes,
right.
Or if you can make it muscle, especially with legs, you know what I mean.
If he would have kept that, if he would have kept that mass from NXT,
yeah,
he'd be the European Brock Lesnar.
Absolutely.
And then see, these are the things. It's like you need different out there. You're not old. Here's the thing. You don't need everybody looking the same like models on a magazine all the time. This guy, he was still going to 45 to 60 minutes with that weight.
Yes, he was. It
wasn't like you get that weight off if you want him to have stamina. He had the stamina. Mm-hmm. It's like you got, as I said, he would be European Brock Lesnar. It would be an awesome match. And it's like, and yeah, I want Honky Tonk Man's record gone. I didn't mind. Here's the thing. I did not mind Hogan's record gone because I don't mind if he beats 1,400, which is Hogan's total numbers, 1,400 days.
Yeah, 1,400.
I don't mind if he beats that because guess what? When you got Hulk Hogan back in those days, you didn't get him to go be this badass Street Fighter guy. You got him to be the superhero, and you got him to be the guy that you can put in boardrooms and press conferences.
Right.
That he was the first. He was the first you to do that. And it's like, I mean, but Roman does it now, but Hogan was the first. You'll never take that away from him.
That's true.
Hogan, what they used Hogan for was complete first. And you won't take it away. So who cares about these numbers of something in which they could take away tomorrow from, or another injury to Roman could take it away.
True.
So who cares about these? As far as Gunther, the one that needs to beat him is LA Knight.
Ooh!
Oh boy!
But I mean, you got to give the guy the push to be able to do something like that. It needs to be Knight. It doesn't need to be. I mean, Drew McIntyre's had his belt, even though he needs to have one in front of a crowd.
Yes, that's
he needs to have one in front of a crowd. He's had his belts. He's had it, and he's had all this kind of stuff. You don't need. I mean, Rome. I mean, truthfully, you want to know something? I like to see Gunther beat Brock.
See, and that's just like same as putting over LA Knight, you know what I mean? He don't need these belts and whatnot, you know what I mean? Just let him go.
Plus, I love Imperium, and I love that song.
Yeah.
Plus, I love that. It's like it's got. See, the one thing I like about. See, I'll tell you this. There's one thing that I wish Gunther was, and I wish he was Walter. By the way, I like that name better. But
Walter, yeah.
Yeah. The biggest thing what I love with him is I wish he wasn't. In a way, he's a bit more of a vicious Keith Lee, but I wish he was. I wish they had you have Imperium with that music. I wish he was sort of along the lines of he reads 50. He's read about 5,000 books. And
Yeah.
Languages. What they should have done with Cesaro.
Okay.
I wish he smooth you. Go ahead.
I don't know. He was just agreeing with you.
Oh yeah. I wish he was. See, everybody's got to be the same in WWE. Dean Douglas, when he first was around in WWE, like when they did the thing before, he was. No, it was terrible. But let me finish. When they first did Dean Douglas, very first vignette, they had him doing these little things, and you didn't quite know until the very end if he was going to go heel or face, because he was sort of, you know what I mean? And then it was a nice little promo. Then the second one was, Razor Ramon, horrible, give it a F. They screwed up miserably. What if you made Dean Douglas smooth as silk, and you make him, he doesn't have friends. He's arrogant. He's arrogant for everybody. He could have been the arrogant Bad News Brown. He could have been the arrogant Bad News Brown. He just never understood and gotten these things. And we're talking 30 years later. They still don't know how to do a regular baby face. You know you can make Roman Reigns a baby face tomorrow the same way.
Yeah, you could. Well, we do have to move it on. We got about 17 minutes left. But okay, so first of two world title matches, on the men's side at least. Seth Rollins defeats Finn Balor after a bit of a miscommunication at ringside down the finish. Is the Judgment Day on ice? Billy, what do you think?
What do you mean they on ice?
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, what I do know is I don't know what the hell Seth was wearing when he came out there. That's all I want to say.
It was a shower curtain.
Shower curtain.
With sleeves or no sleeves.
Oh my goodness gracious.
For her show.
Yeah, pretty much. Well,
but the whole thing, I think the Judgment Day is gonna come to an end if they didn't want to add the whole rumor thing with Madonna coming in or adding somebody else like Wayne Gacy coming from NXT from Schism up. I don't know what they're really gonna do. This whole mommy thing, Dom's got a lot of heel. Okay, I just gotta say that. And I don't know if he's got as much heel as MJF. My son loves him to death. Like nobody likes him. Nobody wants him to speak. So that's going to probably make him more aggressive. Rhea, she should just continue just being her. But Damian and Finn, considering Damian's got the money in the bank briefcase, I think it's going to come in the cahoots with him and Finn. They're going to bump heads like it was with the Evolution thing.
Right.
Where Triple H and Randy Orton, you know what I mean, or Batista, you know what I'm saying, like they would all bump heads. So I think the faction, their egos have gotten too big for themselves, where they think they're the boss and he thinks he's the boss or whoever's boss. But it was a pretty hell of a match. That coup de grace kick out at the end, I was like, wow.
Same here.
And then Seth just came here with the briefcase curb stomp. I was like, oh man, it's done. And then boom, you know what I mean? So Seth should continue being the champ for now. And Judgment Day, we shall see on Raw what happens to Judgment Day.
Yep, coming up here in about 14 minutes. All right, Jacob,
and 14 minutes and minus.
Got one better for you. Have Gunther face Seth, beat Seth, and give up the Intercontinental title. Take that title.
Oh,
interesting.
I like Seth fine. But mention Gunther versus Roman.
At Survivor Series.
Yeah.
See, and I've been wanting that.
Yeah, so you get to that. But no, really, truthfully, you're almost, even though with the whole situation, the I'm your mammy thing, it's like, it needs two. If you're going to do that, it needs two people. It needs those two. It doesn't need all four. I think you don't ever get enough into it.
Right.
You don't get enough, even though you get what you can. It needs to. It does not need both. It doesn't need four. It's like, let the Judgment Day go and let those two go at it, because truthfully, you've got Wimpy Dom with big old Rhea, who Rhea's a star.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is, if Dom was to turn face, he's got to build his body because that body's perfect for a chicken shit heel right now.
Yep.
It is. So really, overall, let it be on ice. It's done. It's done. Really, it's like it's done. It's had the front force, and let the Dom and Rhea go alone, because that's a tremendous little team there. Especially you can have intergender tag team matches like crazy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, next matchup on the card, and this is just this match, not for just this segment, just this match. We're going to talk about what happened after the match, the next segment. This is our WWE Women's Championship. Surprised, because I actually thought that Asuka was going to retain, but Bianca Belair came back, bad knee and all, and outsmarted Asuka and got the pin while in the Charlotte Flair's Figure 4. Billy, your thoughts?
Yeah, because I know you need to wrap it up soon, so that's why I'm gonna make this one quick, because this match was a banger after banger after banger, and I thoroughly enjoyed this match, literally, because Asuka had it, Charlotte had it, Bianca had it. At the end, Bianca had it with that little bridge, and then, oh my God, that frog splash where Charlotte jumped off the rope to Bianca, I can't remember who it was, but where she was in a position figure eight. Yeah, it was Bianca that splashed on her.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, I was considered by her ribs. I was like, oh my God, I was holding my ribs too. So after that, I was like, okay. And then all of a sudden, Asuka wasn't mad about anything when she got pinned. And I'm like, at the end, I'm like, okay. And then all of a sudden you hear Io come out.
We're gonna get that next segment. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it just yet.
Segment. Oh,
yeah. Jacob, real quick, thoughts on this match?
Oh, yeah. That was a really good match, but I will tell you this: what I would love to have seen a lot of. This is what we saw with Cesaro when he'd be in three ways. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We need to see Bianca doing strength thing after strength after, because we've seen her get up on steps with somebody on their shoulder before. We've seen them roll up and go. She's a strong girl.
Very.
She needs to have Cesaro's gimmick. She needs Cesaro's gimmick. You do really strong things because she is. And it's like, and there's no question about that. And she's already on ads, so it's like Bianca. The thing is about Bianca, though, what drives me nuts is her fans are like Justin Fields fans. It is. I mean, if you don't give them what they want, they throw a big. You're screwing her. You're screwing her. She had 421 days as champ. You're screwing her. So that's the only issue. Otherwise, Bianca Belair is amazing to watch. And Charlotte's about to retire anyway. I can already see it. I see this.
So is she gonna go? So y'all think that is she gonna go beat her dad's record and not Cena, or like as a woman's champion,
or end it tied? Well, you got to realize it was supposed. You got to realize it was supposed to be Reed. It's like she's done her thing.
This whole time was supposed to be Reed Flair.
She's gotten farther than she would have ever thought, and I know she wants to do actual athletic things while she's still young.
Yep. And Tyler just hit it, because we're going to talk about that right now, and that is Money in the Bank cash in. Io Sky defeats Bianca Belair to win the WWE Women's Championship. Has the era of Io begun? Real quick, Cruz, go.
Yeah. Sorry for spoiling that just a second ago, but I was totally shocked. And I was just like, oh my goodness gracious, here she comes. And Asuka was not even mad about it. She's just like, go ahead, girl. Do your thing. And she just said, boom. And then Io Sky flew to the sky and just said, 1, 2, 3. I got that money in the bank. And I am the new women's champion. And that's all I have to say about that.
And you know what? As I said in the group, big shout out to Bayley, because it seems like ever since she's been back, she's really been putting the younger stars on. She has been one of the most selfless, if not the most selfless, superstar back there. And that's really, really awesome of her. I still think she's gonna win the Royal Rumble in 2024, the Women's Royal Rumble. But if she did, it would be well deserved, because look what she's done for everyone else. But real quick, Jacob, your thoughts on this cash in?
Oh, it's I mean, I'm just saying this. This is setting up Bayley turning on Io. It's setting up Bayley turning on Io. She's hurt right now. She's got support right now. The minute she's healthy, you're not going to see it coming. And the thing is, that whole thing when I was saying about with the fans, you're screwing the Bianca Belair. She had that. That's the issue with the overly stupid fans. Bianca does not have to win everything to be over. But you're playing this game. You're playing this game all the time. It's the same with Justin Fields. You don't need to have it all to have the thing. You've got that. She is absolutely that of wrestling. It's like these are stars. You just let it be instead of need to have your satisfaction every time as a fan.
Right, absolutely. Now, on to our long-awaited main event. Undisputed Championship Tribal Combat. Roman Reigns, and I know you didn't want to see this, Billy, but Roman Reigns retains the Undisputed Championship and the position of Tribal Chief, defeating main event Jey Uso after a shocking turn. So, what is y'all's theories surrounding Jimmy Uso turning on Jey? The unthinkable did happen, ladies and gentlemen, in case you didn't see it. Billy, go.
We all know I don't like Roman Reigns. I'm sorry. Everybody loves Roman Reigns, and he's a phenomenal wrestler in the ring. Okay, I've never liked him since NXT. I never liked him.
Hater I know.
Okay.
The biggest Reigns hater I know.
Thank you. And I will acknowledge you on that. Thank you. Okay? Whoo! That makes me feel good. The match was phenomenal. Like, literally, from beginning to end. The story is still great. I love how they're continuing this whole storyline. I would love for... We'll get into that in just a second. But the match was just hard-hitting, like, back and forth. Jey was showing him out, like, literally. Like, yo, I'm top dog. I can do this. I can do this. And he is, literally... He can be solo, you know what I mean? Like, not solo, but you know what I mean? Like, he can take it on his own. by himself. But like, and then you had Roman do this and Roman do that, and then kick out after power bomb after hard hitting slams and hits. It was just the story was just. It reminded me of a good old cousin beatdown. You know what I mean? If you a sibling beatdown, like back in the day when we were kids, like in the backyard, let's take the damn nooks off and let's go at it. You know what I mean? Like let's get it. But then when his brother came in there, and I'm just like, oh my goodness gracious. No. See, and I thought it was gonna be like Jacob Fatu, or I even thought it was gonna be Zilla.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I even thought it was gonna be Zilla. And then you had Solo. I knew Solo was gonna get involved. So if only the other Usos, like, Zilla or Fatu would come in, that would have made it more interesting to the story. So that way Jimmy can help his brother. But it looks like Jay's on his own, from what I see.
Truly on his own.
Mm-hmm.
All right, real quick, Jacob, your thoughts about this match? Any theories you got on why Jimmy did what he did?
I don't know, and I'm not fond of it, and I love the match. Not fond of it because see, this is why creative stinks, and I'm trying not to cuss so much, but this is why they're terrible. The original deal was the tribal. It's the tribal match. No one's supposed to interfere from the family.
Yep.
He stopped Solo.
Thank you.
He stopped Solo from spearing him. The Roman originally stopped him. That had so many possibilities of who could and who. I don't mind Roman having the match. There's that idea had so many possibilities. It's like whatever that you could do. Anybody that could be. It could be Paul Heyman. It could be Paul Heyman saving his bread and butter. That's his thing. It could be anything that's not family. Instead, the next week they literally attacked, and it was everybody, and it's like, and it was the end. And it's like they killed the whole idea, and then Jimmy turns on him and whatever. I think it's probably jealousy over Jay getting big. Probably that, but I loved the tribal thing. Loved it when nobody could interfere. You have many more opportunities.
Yes.
You have many more options than the family. Could have had Kevin Owens come back out. Anything. Anything. Could have had. It had to be anything but that. That's those. You could have had an idea. Creative does not know how to think. They just don't. They don't know how to build a baby face, and they don't know how to do something outside the box. They just don't.
Yeah, it's anybody's guess, like what's going to happen next and everything. I will say this real quick before our last segment, and that is that the Usos have stated in an interview that it was their dream to actually face each other at WrestleMania. So this may be where we are headed. And now with our last minute and a half, just real quick. So this is our finish or DQ segment. So we take something from the past, and it's kind of like our agree or disagree, kind of question, So in the first ever finish or DQ, agree or disagree? WrestleMania 5 main event, Mega Powers Collide. Savage should have retained the WWE Championship against Hulk Hogan because, in my opinion, he needed to win more than Hogan did. So, Billy, finish or DQ?
Finish.
Awesome.
And I'm not agreeing with you. Just finish because, yeah, I remember that. That was the Mega Power. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
That's just my take. Finish.
Okay. And Jacob, what about you?
DQ only because of how they built the year. I get it. I love Mach. But how they built the year. You need hope. Here's the deal. if you build Zeus and Hogan singles, there doesn't need to be a belt.
True.
There doesn't need to be a belt. But you have them in a tag team. I mean, what's the point of you're leading to a fact, if you're leading that tag team, Macho has nobody to wrestle anyway as a heel.
Right.
He has no one to wrestle, no one anything like that. And you got to remember, that's a babyface territory. He was only champ as a heel for 2 months.
Yep.
So that's the thing. But the thing is, if you've got a plan to have Hogan and Savage at SummerSlam for the title, then yes. But if you have Hogan and Zeus, then yeah, they'd be able to do it. But it's like if you're having that tag team, Hogan, because Hogan can have a million challengers. It's just how they built this. It's just like how they built into 1990 and everything's why Hogan should have won it, because they really were the one side as far as how they did that.
Right. Gotcha. And in all respectable, commentary. Listen, Billy, thank you so much for being on the first episode of Top Rope Talk. And, man, you've been a really great asset to the group as long as I've known you. Here's some many more years. And anytime you want to come on back to the show, let us know, man.
Hey, man, it's been an honor and a pleasure to be on the show with you guys. Thank you, Mr. Jacob. Thank you, Mr. Denzel. And I'm always going to help you out with the show, man. Always. You already know. I appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun, guys.
No doubt about it. All right, we got to get on the Monday Night Raw, you all. Thank you all for tuning in to the first ever episode of Top Rope Talk. We will see you at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next Monday. Later.